Grounding. Nobody wants to start a video seeing an old man's feet. Hello, say hello, my lovely wife, Becky. This video is about grounding. There's a lot of stuff on the internet, and I've been looking at a lot of videos. Your first response about grounding is often negative. Most people don't believe it's a beneficial. I happen to think it is, and all for perfectly sound, logical reasons. The human body, every function we have, works off and starts with an electrical impulse. Our bodies are electrically driven. The earth is electrically driven as well. If we sync our bodies to the earth, the healthier we're going to be. All that being said, I came across something that's probably not good for people, and that's the knowledge of dirty electricity. The electricity that comes in our house, that's piped into every home in America, is very much filthy. It's filled with a 60-cycle hum. A hum comes from a generator that spins 60 cycles. It spins 60 revolutions per second. And everything is driven to work off of that 60 cycles, and therefore all of the electrical emissions, radio signals, and frequencies that you receive is done by a 60 cycle. It's dirty. Nothing in nature, 6, is it's always the number of man in the Bible for a reason. It's a man-made thing. I could talk for hours. Why didn't we choose 70 cycles per second? Why did it have to be 60? Well, the same reason we go off of a lunar calendar, which is imperfect, and we could have went by a solar calendar, which is perfect, but the world chose the imperfect one. And the same thing with the cycles and electricity that the world is now experiencing many physical and mental illnesses from the 60-cycle hum. That is in all of our electricity, which is therefore impregnated in all electrical impulses of our planet. So with that being said, don't buy electrical mat, and if you're planning on plugging that thing into the AC current in your house, because that AC current is very much made filthy through a process that the electrical company has by disguising unused AC current, which goes back through the circuit, back to the power plant, and then converted back into its original alternating current state and reused, and they make more money. Well, you get sicker, but they make more money. So that current is not healthy for you. If you're going to use those things, if you already have money invested in those pads, go to the hardware store and get you a $35 ground rod. They're about 8 feet long. They're copper coated. You drive them straight into the ground. An easy way to do that is pour water in the hole and just keep jugging it up and down, and it'll work its way all the way into that ground. And then run you a singular wire, drill a hole through your wall or your floor, and where you can get that wire to where you're sleeping or by your desk where you're using that foot pad, and that way you can get true benefit of God's beautiful earth, His creation, His natural, clean ground. You don't have to plug into the power company's ground. I'm sure a lot of people in the comments will say what I'm saying is not true, but I know a little bit about electricity. I work on some electrical components, and I understand about that 60-cycle hum, how it can back up through that ground and cause radiations through ground wires. So go with a natural ground, a good clean ground. And for something for the Christian to think about grounding, something that came to me the other day was when Moses went up to Mount Sinai to receive communion with God, to make that communication. The first thing God said to Moses was, "Moses, take them shoes off your feet, for the ground you're standing on is holy." And that kind of tells me about the shoes. God found those shoes offensive, and I think it was because it was keeping a connection between God's creation, man, making that connection through God's creation, earth, in which that communication was being made. So it's a wonderful thing to be barefooted while you pray, while you commune. Garden barefooting is a good thing. Walking through your yard barefooted is a good thing. And I don't think in 20-30 minutes Oh, do you? I think you need more than that. So, you know, think back 100 years ago, people were barefooted more than they weren't. And if they weren't barefooted, they had on leather sole shoes that were often damp in the morning through dew, which time you add moisture to the ground situation, the conductivity is really increased. So if you had on leather shoes walking through wet dew grass, you were grounded. And today, we're not getting grounded at all. So the more you ground, I think the better your body's going to be able to heal itself, because grounding helps inflammation in your body to dissipate, and once you do that, a lot of other things in your body that's giving you problems can heal. So with that being said, just a quick little video about grounding. I think it's important. I think it's also important not to be taken in by the devil's lust for money and greed, and don't fall for that dirty grounding trick that the devil's trying to put on the world. Get yourself some good clean ground. And with that being said, I'm going to try to upload this video, and I'll see you next time.